Good morning. It's been another rough night. I'm here in Oregon. Sorry I keep repeating myself, but I'm here taking care of my mother. She's needs 24-hour care and is going through a divorce. So here we are. I had night duty last night, and I just got relieved by my brother, so I just came out to just pray and take a little time to go through this. And we've been going through the book of Peter, second book of Peter, verse by verse, because it's really one of the best examples that we have of somebody pointing at false doctrine and false preaching and false church and saying, beware of this, and here's how you avoid it, and here's how they're going to use this system to corrupt. So and where we left off at was really the surety of who Jesus Christ is. And they said we saw him with we saw it with our eyes. We heard the voice from heaven on the Mount of Transfiguration. We heard that voice say, this is my son for whom I'm well pleased. But in addition to that, prophets prophesied about him. And here's all the prophecies that are true. And so he begins this letter saying, here's who Jesus Christ is, so you can be sure of it. But then he switches gears pretty quick, and we're going to pick it up there. 2 Peter 2, verse 1. But there were also false prophets among the people, even as there will be false teachers among you, who will secretly bring to destruction heresies, even denying the Lord who bought them, and bring on themselves swift destruction. And many will follow their destructive ways, because of whom the way of truth will be blasphemed. By covetousness they will exploit you with deceptive words. For a long time their judgment has not been idle, and their destruction does not slumber. So what Peter's saying here is that, you can trust who Jesus Christ is because of the old prophets, but even back then there were false prophets. And that'll continue on, and there will be false prophets today, and there'll be false prophets tomorrow. And these false teachers have their place, but what they use is covetousness. Now, I kind of want to focus on that for a little bit, because ultimately what they're saying is they're using your desires against you. That the things that you want to have, whether it be a better life, more money, be like that pastor up there, be more known in the church, be more, have a higher position, maybe even be the pastor, or be an associate pastor. Like, you just have this covetousness. You desire to have things that you don't have. And they use that against you to lead you down a path of destruction. Because the thing about the message of Jesus Christ is it's a redemptive message. It redeems mankind. And it's easy to take a redemptive message and twist that into a prosperity message. And not just financial prosperity, but just this idea that by coming to this church and throwing the money in the plate, you can have everything you want. God wants you to have everything you want. And you can have that stuff by just throwing some money in the plate and saying a few amens. And make sure you come back next week, by the way. It's obviously a little more complicated than that. I'm kind of making light of it because they used a psychological game to get into your head to convince you that by being like them, by talking like them, by desiring the same things they desire and contributing into their system, that you have somehow found the righteousness in Jesus Christ. That's the deceptive part. So covetousness is something that we have to check ourselves on as Christians. When you desire to be a part of a church or a group of people worshiping, I believe that you kind of need to start with, is there something I'm trying to get out of this other than the love of my Redeemer? Is there some worldly thing that I'm after here? Because if there's a worldly thing you're after, you might be walking down a path of destruction, thinking it's the path of righteousness. Any thoughts or insight on any of that, definitely put it below. If you like this video, click like and subscribe. If you feel called to support this channel, the Patreon, the link is also below. But the most important part of this channel is we take prayer requests, so don't ever hesitate to send that in. Thank you for watching this episode of God, Family, and Guns. And as always, love God, love your family, and love guns.